Mr President, I will stick to the topic. President Barroso, the Commission yesterday adopted a strong package of reports and measures on fighting the corruption that is costing the EU €120 billion per annum, roughly equivalent to the total EU budget. But 8 Member States score less than 5 out of 10 on the Transparency International Index, and the Commission says implementation of anti-corruption instruments is unsatisfactory. So wouldn't it have been a good idea for corruption to be raised at the G8 summit? The only reference that I can find, and it was an oblique one, was about developing countries. No reference at all to how rich countries need to show the political will to tackle the problem of our own backyard and show leadership on this. Wasn't this an opportunity missed to talk about corruption and bribery at the G8, especially as one of the members, Russia, is 154th out of 178, and many of our own member states show poorly on the Transparency International Index?
Thank you.
In fact, the issue of corruption was dealt when we had this outreach meeting with African leaders, but I can tell that the anti-corruption issues are going to be high on the agenda of G20 in November. Having said that, I think it was a useful discussion, because when there is corruption, someone is corrupted, but there is someone also corrupting. So in a way, the G8 members were also scrutinized when we discussed the issue with Africa. Yes, and it was. And by the way, I gave a very good news to them, because I announced the Commission is going to come with initiatives in terms of transparency for raw materials. It's a good or bad example, depending on the perspective, of cases where less transparency makes it easier for some regimes to use in a non-transparent way revenues from their national resources, raw materials, sometimes with complicity, we have to say, of the so-called developed world. So that was the way, the angle in which the issue was taken in this last G8.